Next table. Now, the following table shows the timetable for a train. This train is called Peak Rail Steam Railway. And let's get into the questions. Okay, it says, excluding stops, how long is the journey from Roseley to Matlock? Now, if you look at the table, the name of the places that the train goes to, the first one is Roseley South. It departs from there. And then Darley-Dale arrives there. And then exactly 2 minutes later, so it takes it 5 minutes from 11 to 11:05 to go from this place to this place. And then the train rests at the same place for 2 minutes, and then it takes another journey from Darley-Dale to Matlock. Now the first question says, how long does it take to reach from here to here? Now, and it also says excluding stops. Excluding stops meaning without the time that it stopped, meaning between these two. Okay, so it took it 5 minutes to reach from the Rowsley to Darley, 5 minutes, excluding the stops, which means this 2 minutes. From Darley-Dale to Matlock, okay, 11:07 to 11:22. Now that's, I'm gonna turn this 11:07. I'm gonna add 10 minutes to it. That's 11:17. So it took it more than 10 minutes. Okay, so 17 to 22, I have 5. So it took it 15 minutes from Darley-Dale to Matlock. Now it took it 15 minutes to reach from here to here, and it took it 5 minutes to reach from here to here. So 5 and 15, that's 20 minutes. It took it 20 minutes, and it shows like this. So you can either calculate it that way, or you can say 11 to 11:22, that's 22 minutes. The stop is 2 minutes, so you subtract 2 from the 22, and it will be 20 minutes. And that's the time it took from Roseley to Matlock. Now moving on to the second question, says, explain how you know if each journey takes the same time. Let's see. What is each journey? What is one journey? It's from depart to arrive. That's one journey. Depart to arrive, that's another. Depart to arrive, it's another. Okay, but you cannot count this arrive depart as a journey, because the train arrived at Matlock and it stayed in Matlock for like an amount of minutes. So that's not the journey. That's not a journey. We can't call it a journey. But let's see between which two journeys. So this journey here, right here, it took it 5. Okay, and then so this one, it took it 20 minutes to reach Matlock. So exactly, so basically the journey, it depends on what you call the journey, it took it 20 minutes. If we counted the same thing, so if we count the Roseley South on this column, 12:14 to Matlock again, 12:14 to 12:36. I'm gonna basically say, well, this is 12:15 to 12:30. So that's basically 15 minutes. And I gave this 1 minute, and I gave and I have 4 here. So basically that's 20 minutes in between. Okay, so if you can play with the way you can see these two numbers, this one also took 20 minutes. And if you calculate the difference between these two, by the way, excluding the stopping time, and if you calculate the minutes between these two, excluding that stopping time, you would find all of them being 20 minutes. Now I want you to stop the video and just try and see if you can do it. Okay. Now moving on to the third question. How many trains are needed to run the service? Okay, so this is basically the timetable and shows the places, not the trains. Okay, now we need the train to go from here to here. Okay, and then this train would be busy until 11:54 a.m. So from 11 a.m. to 11:54 a.m. it would be busy. For it would be busy for about 1 hour. So it cannot go back to the starting point and just move on to the next one again until it reaches the last one, which is the Rowsley South. And same thing for this one. This one is 12:14 and to 13:08. But between these two, there's actually time. Okay, so this train can actually go this far, and it reaches 11:54, and it can rest until 12:14, and it can stop at 13:08, and then until its next journey, 13:28, until here, and then 14:42 up until here. So you can have actually one train doing all of them, but the question is, can these trains go back at the same, can they go back as fast as they can to actually be able to go back and start the next journey at 12:14? Now let's see the actual answers. Okay, so Rowsley 16 minutes. Okay, no, only one, as it goes back and forth between Rowsley and Matlock. So we actually can have one train just going back and forth, and it will be able to go back, because between these two is enough amount of time so that train can go back, and really that timetable doesn't conflict, or it doesn't say the same, that the train needs to be at the same time, at the same, same place, same time. Okay, so what about the next question? It says, how long in total is the train due to be waiting in each station between leaving Rowsley at 11 and returning at 15:36? So basically, this is 15:36 is the last journey, the ending time. It says the waiting between each station. Okay, how long in total it's going to be? So you're gonna calculate between 11:54 until this, and then 12:14 to 13:08 it will take the journey, and then from 13:08 to 13:28 it will rest, and you would add the resting time, and then this would be a journey, and then 14:22 and then 14:42 it would rest, and you would count all the resting times, and the answer is 16 minutes. So Matlock 40 minutes, Darley-Dale 16 minutes, and so on. Okay, now you can solve the last question and see if you can extract the answer. Now the answer is on the screen. Okay, it says explain how you can check the answer using the total time that the train is traveling. Now this is the answer. Okay, now you can play with the numbers and see if you can get the same answer and if you can understand it. But overall, this is the way we read tables, and the first thing you need to do is just in an exam, just sit back and look at the table, see if you can interpret it, and see if you can, and understand what's going on in the table, and then move on to answering the questions one by one. Okay. Now you can pause the video if you like, but another topic we have is mean, or as we call it, average. Okay, so mean or average is basically collecting, adding all of the numbers and then dividing them by the number of the numbers that you actually found. Now we're going to go through this activity. We're going see if we can get out the mean of it. Okay, so it says 5 children have some marbles shown. Child A until child E. Okay, they each have a few marbles. All the children decide to share their marbles equally. So they want to just add them all together, and they want each of them to have the same number of marbles. Now, the way we can do this is to add 10 to 18, 18 to 5, and then all of that to 4, and then all of that to 3. Okay? Now, the way we can do it is that put all the marbles together and then share them equally. You can collect them in a basket and then give one to each child every time that everyone has one, and then the next one gets 2, the next one gets 2, the next one gets 2. So you can see that there are 30 marbles to share between 5 children. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm actually distributing 30 marbles over 5 children. Give one to each. Each of them will have 6. Now this is for your own understanding. In an exam, you actually need to show your work. Okay? Alright, so let's find the mean of each set of data. Now, the set of data, as you can see, some of them has symbols with it, like the second one has meters and the fourth one has pounds. So, and the first and the third does not have any symbols next to it, which tells us it's just a series of numbers. Okay? So what do we need to think about when we find the mean of this set of data? Okay, so what we're going to do is that add 6 to 3, that's 9, add to 9, that's 18, and then so on. It goes on. And then you basically divide it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you divide the total over 5. And you would get 6. Okay? So, and then again, you add this to this, and you add this to the sum of them. You add basically all of them together, and then you're going to divide it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You would get 1.5. Same thing here, you would add all of them together and you would divide the total by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you would get 26. You can pause the video and do it with your calculator and see if all of the answers are correct. Okay, now a word problem. It says 5 classes of children collect some money to share equally with 5 local charities. 4 of the classes record how much money they have collected, but the 5th class forgot to record theirs. Here are the 4 classes' collections. The total is shared equally, so each charity receives 24 pounds. How much does the 5th class raise? Now, as you can see, we have 5 classes, and 4 of them know how much they collected, 1 of them doesn't. What we can do is it told us basically the mean of the whole thing, right? So this is the average of the whole, like each charity will get this much. So we basically added 34 and 29 and 18 and 27 all together, plus an unknown number. It all equaled to something. We divided it over 5, and it gave us 25. Can you actually guess the answer? Okay, pause the slide and then the video and see if you can get it. Okay. Now the answer is 17. 17 pounds is the 5th one. Right. So besides mean, which is the average or norm of a set of numbers, like this, we add them all together and we divide them of the number of the numbers we added, and we get a specific number, and that's the mean. We also have a mode. So a mode is the most frequent value. So in a set of numbers, you have 1, 3, 3, 3, 5, 6, 6, 9, 9. you would find, okay, so which one of these has been repeated, you know, so many times, and the one that's been repeated the most is the mode. Sometimes you have two modes like this. You have 3 and 9, they're both repeated 3 times, but if the 9 was